All right, we're back.
Yeah, so they denied any and all responsibility to what happened to this kid, but nobody really knows what happened to him. I don't know if he killed himself or it was an accident or if he was bullied. He was apparently a football jock, but that doesn't mean he wasn't bullied.
Right.
I really don't know.
And
I don't think anybody knows what happened.
But still, bullying is wrong in either direction. You don't, if you're on, so let's say you come home you're in high school, okay? I pick on high school because I know quite a bit about it. So for me, I got picked on because of shoes I wore or an item I brought into school. I brought this big sewing kit once to class on the bus, stating that some guy said, "Oh, there's your lunchbox." Because I was a big girl, they thought I ate so much that was my lunchbox. No, it was my sewing kit with all my sewing stuff in for the class for home ec.
I took it home. That wasn't your lunchbox. I know, but being a bunch of assholes.
Exactly. I had Velcro shoes. Well, I didn't want to tie my shoes, and two, I couldn't find any in my size. I got big feet, people. Okay, I can't find shoes in my size for a girl. I have to wear guy shoes to wear my feet, and that hurts my feet at times too because I have girl feet, and a guy's foot is wider, so it's actually hurting my feet wearing these guy shoes. But my body's come used to it over the years to get used to it. But besides that, I can't help the clothes that I wear when I was younger. Yeah. I got dealt with what I had, and I put up with it for so long. And then the guy was teasing me, the same guy that teased me on the bus, and this was when I was in junior high. He teased me on the bus, and he dragged it over to a football game. And when I was with a couple of my friends, and it was getting close to Sadie's, and he was asking, "Oh, so does Doorknob not have a date to Sadie's?" I got pissed. Okay, that just flipped my lid right there. I was in stands behind the bleachers, and the guy was with his friends, and I was over here, and there was nobody between me and him. I took a beeline right for his ass, and I landed him right on the floor. Now I know violence don't begin violence, but damn it, you can only tell a person to shut up so much, and then you just have to do physical violence just to get them to shut up. Because some guys are so dumb that they have to have physical contact. And then they got shocked because I was a girl and I knocked his ass down to the ground. He shut up after that and never teased me ever again. But
sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do.
Exactly. If that, I would be self-defense. And if the cop had come, I would have said self-defense because the guy freaking,
and the problem
pushed me to a breaking point that I just couldn't stay anymore.
And the problem is, when I was in elementary school, that was kind of what I would call my torment years, because my hair was the short, because my mother was insane and she loved short hair. I hated it. It made me look like a tomboy. So I had short hair. I had hand-me-down clothes because we didn't have a lot of money, but those things didn't matter to me. They still don't matter to me. I don't care about clothes.
Right.
I don't really care where I get them from as long as they fit.
Right.
And they're comfortable.
Yeah.
And that's how I felt too as a child. Clothes was never a big deal to me, but it was always big to people, and I was tormented, harassed. I had a lot of tormentors, so to speak, and I don't know why. I don't understand why kids are so mean to each other.
I think some of it comes from their environment at home. That's the same thing. And with me, it was mostly boys that I got teased on when I was in elementary. It was small, younger boys teasing me, and I didn't know why. And then I begun that violence onto two other guys that didn't deserve it. And we end up becoming, acquaintances, and they're really good guys, to my knowledge. I kept Dennis, Dennis in high school in my class, Okay. He knew Matt Turner. Anyway, he was in my school. This Matt guy was in my school, and he I would tease him, and I would chase him and another guy, and they would, because they were picking on me. But they like to be chased. Because one time I just stopped chasing them, and they were like, "Why aren't you chasing us?" Because I didn't want to chase anymore.
I mostly had problems with girls. Girls were just complete assholes to me.
Well, see, I had the girls when I had.
I also hung out with dysfunctional people. But I guess I felt I was dysfunctional in elementary school.
Okay.
I had a lot of dysfunctional friends who had issues, and so I got labeled the issue chick too. But I was just mostly harassed for my clothes, for my hair. It wasn't a fun time for me. And then junior high came around, and I kind of just faded into the background there. I'm not really sure why.
Because there was more schools, different people. So
yeah, so I kind of just faded, and then I fell into kind of a crowd of outcasts. And then in 8th grade, a lot of stuff happened dramatically in my life, and so I just kind of tuned out a lot of drama that was going on around me. Mm-hmm. But high school, I wasn't really a target. I was more of a defender of my friends who were being targeted.
Yeah, I got targeted.
There were a couple of occasions where I was not necessarily the target, but became the target by association.
Right.
But I defended myself by waiting after school for them. And I made my
points very clear.
Very clear. Yeah, to cement. But it was, sometimes, I don't promote violence either, but sometimes you do have to stand up for yourself the best way you know how. Mm-hmm. I wasn't a violent person. I'm still not a violent person, but if that's the only way you can shut someone's mouth, shut it.
Yep. I had the same problem in elementary. Actually, at that point, I wasn't getting picked on. It was another girl that I knew was getting picked on. And I couldn't stand it because I knew how it felt to be picked on. And the guy, so I told him to stop. He wouldn't stop. He walked away. And then I grabbed him by his shoulder and twisted him down to the ground. And I said, "What'd you say?" He goes, so I pretty much made him say uncle kind of to me. And then, he apologized. And I go, "Don't you ever talk to her that way again." And he walked away. That was the last. There was one other time in junior high where I stopped a friend, a guy friend from my road. We're still good friends to this day, but I stopped him before the principals came and to get in that fight. He goes, "You gotta go. They're coming. You better go." So he took off, and I told him don't ever act like that again because I was older than him. So I told him don't do that. I don't care what they say. Just leave. Go away. If they throw a punch, then I understand.
I do feel the non-violence is better than violence. Like, if you can walk away, but it's not always that simple.
No. If they throw the first punch, they deserve what they get.
Yeah. If you gotta fight, you gotta fight. Right. Sometimes you have to fight. Some people are nasty.
But sometimes there's no fighting at all. When I was in high school, my best friend at that time turned enemy.
Yeah.
Frenemy.
Oh, I had that happen too.
And they used the internet to taunt me, and it hurt. And nobody at the school knew. The only person that knew was my mom, and because I have open communication with my mom. Not a lot of teenagers do, but I did, and it helped, but it still didn't help what I had to deal with it when I got to the school. And then I stopped talking to her by the end of my 9th grade year, and by 10th grade, we had the same group, and she, came up to me and talked to me, saying, "Hey, you want to be in my group and whatnot?" And I'm like, "Sure, okay." And I thought we were good, and she acted fine at, when we had our colliding classes. Then the next time after the classes were done, she acted like a total stranger. And then by the time senior year came around, we just made a truce to, move on and be nice and have a good year. Mm-hmm. So sometimes it works out, sometimes it don't.
And sometimes friends turn on each other, and that sometimes leads to depression, and especially if you become suddenly the outcast of your own group of friends.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things I just will never understand that any of us went through in high school.